ikaw na lang muna kaya kumain. Kasi kinain ko yung tinapay na tira mo. Ngayon lang, ngayon lang. Kanina gutom na gutom ako. Tsaka ako lang kinain. Kasi nga, bili ka na lang ng pancit canton mo. Sasaing na ako. Parang, ang dami pa nitong kanin kasi napag sa'yo, mahal. Mamaya ka na magsalita. Dito na lang.
They are ready and they're looking for the finish. Yes, and Burmese Ghouls, this looks like a 2-1 going. This is a 2-1 going to the side of Burmese Ghouls. Bren Esports. They made a bit of a complex lineup there.
This is looking more like it in the grand finals, and Burmese Ghouls gets their first corner in the bag. And just look at how coordinated they are. Once they establish control, they set up checkpoints inside the jungle, making it definitely harder for the side of Red Esports to bypass. But that real sneaky Lord really got them the game.
Yeah, they really abused power spike mechanics there, knowing that 2 items, and especially with Hunter's Machete just fully stacked up and can actually allow him to solo the Lord with no issues whatsoever there. Great ideas, but overall, this is the Burmese Ghouls that we were waiting to see. A macro-based team that wants to make smarter decisions than their opponent. And right now, Bren, again, I don't think they made too many mistakes overall. However, high execution, and you gotta give it to him. Hashtag thank for Lusty, and hopefully he can do it one more time.
And yeah, it's BG being smart with their plays. Bren has the Atlas, then don't go for the 5-man fight. Just keep it as skirmishes, divide the team fight, and just win from there.
Divide and conquer tactics coming out there, and initially we do see a very heavy focus on towards structures coming in from the side of Burmese Ghouls, and it has definitely worked out for them. And then they start to spread their wings out all over the jungle side and slowly get those sort of picks. So, Leo, after this match, do you think that from the side of Bren, they need to fix any sort of things coming into this draft?
Oh yeah, I think Bren should watch out for the draft. More than the execution, I think it's the draft wherein they could have done a few adjustments. I guess they were just a little too confident this time around, sitting at the 2-0. Now at the 2-1, this might just kick them back into gear.
That's right. Let's see what's the secret sauce right here, because LaFell as well as Wolf will break down the formulas out there. And, well, Alice, we're going to be talking about all of this. Just, of course, gets all the secrets out.
Thank you very much. And right now, we can definitely see that the break was well used, because right now, Burmese Gold, they look very, very well refreshed, and they look very, very strong in the game. Now, of course, there's a lot of things to talk about, but before that, my name is Afel, this is Wolf. Now, we are talking about drafts, you know, like, all right, the Diggy has been banned, but why was banned from Brand Esports that really changed, changed everything?
You know, I think that this is more about the playstyle of Burmese Ghouls. They were reminded of their own playstyle. That's what I'm trying to say. And now they have understood that they will never get their hands on the Diggy, because that's just how Brand Esports works. They will completely shut down one specific hero that's signature from a team.
They respect you.
They respect you so much. Diggy, for the 3rd time, first banned by Brand Esports. This time, however, Burmese Ghouls, they kind of needed a fix. So what they did was the Matilda. This is my own analysis and my own perception on how Burmese Ghouls approached this game number 3. So instead of going and relying for the Diggy, since it's already banned, they went in for the Matilda to make a hyper carry out of Ace. And boy, it was effective.
And right now, we will look at atomization between both of these teams to really see what is going on.
And right now, let's look at the Chow, because the thing is, I like what Ruby Didi did. Throughout this game, his KDA is not the best, but he is the reason Claude keeps getting killed.
There was one time when Flap TZ, just looking at the items, that's a necklace, that's the boots ending Molten Essence and Queen's Wings. Removed that Oracle, and that was his items when Yusun Shen already had 3 big items. And the Blade of Despair paired up with the Raptor Machete and the Endless Battle. There's just so much damage that comes out from Ace when Brand Esports cannot keep up. And this is because of the important set that I will show you, Towers. 10-0 for Burmese Burmese schools. They have, how to say this? They have activated the hyper carry in Ace by one, securing his lane, two, supporting him all the way with this Matilda, and three, getting the turrets for the team. Bonus goal that you get out of it, it just meant that Burmese schools just captured their win condition much faster than Bren Esports did.
Yeah, and looking at the items again, Flapteasy, he does not have the Bloodless Axe, almost like he's playing the Baxia again. So maybe it's something that he has to, because we've seen that, alright, Burmese goals with the Diggy, they look really strong. And Brand Sports, I even said, like, okay, when there's a Baxia, it's definitely going to Flapteasy. It's not going to be a Lassie kind of hero. And perhaps that is one of the things that they have to adjust. Like, you're not going to get the Baxia again, probably, so you need to adjust to that. And Ruby DD, the itemization going on, basically an on-hit kind of build with the Blade of Despair, with the Blade of Heptasis. And speaking of Ruby DD's Chow, right now we're gonna look at the MVP of the game. It is going over to Ruby DD with his Chow with a match KD of 2-2-4. In this game, I would say that the kills are not that much, but every single player, every single individual, they did what they have to do. And Ruby DD, his job is to make sure that Flapteasy doesn't get online, and that is a very, very high risk, high reward kind of job, because you could die first, but as long as he makes sure that the Claude dies, then it's basically a win on a team fight.
You know what? The side lane Cho, or the core Cho, it's not really favored in the recent matchups. This is interesting. Like, this is probably one of the first ones that I'm seeing this kind of item, a build order for the Cho. He went for high-end dry and went for all those pick-up items, Blade of Despair, Heptasis, and that really reflected on how important his role was. His goal was to eliminate one member of Bren Esports as much as possible. That instant -1 that we get coming out from Burmese schools that allowed them to take the team fights much better. I want to say, in addition, I don't like the decision of Bren Esports in this particular game to put that Kagura in the side lanes. Here's the thing, this is funny because when the draft was ready, we were talking, and I was kind of recommending Lapu-Lapu. It was picked up by Burmese schools, and then I said, okay, this is automatically Kagura. Then Claude was picked up, but that was a bug, and then we confirmed that it was Kagura. And I say, okay, wow, this is Bren Esports with a standard draft, a game that they can easily win. But Benedetta should be side lane, and Kagura should be in the mid lane. Why is it important to have that kind of laning configuration for Bren Esports? Because of the fact that the Kagura plus the Atlas, it will definitely amplify the speed of farming for Carl TZ, and then the Benedetta Yuzong can be played in the side lanes easily. So that would be a totally different story if they went for that kind of laning configuration.
Yeah, level 4 power spike is really strong in that kind of situation.
Absolutely.
Especially Kagura can always open the map, making sure that his pathing is always the safer pathing. And I agree. Being at the side lane doesn't really look like she has a lot of that 1v1 kill potential. Maybe she has, but in this game, it really doesn't work. But either way, we will be looking at that draft soon, because I think the players are ready. And right now, we will be going again to the casters to continue with our match. So casters, please take it away.
Once again, welcome back to the Caster's Desk. This is the World Championship for the Mobile Legends BangBang M2 2020. It definitely has been quite the journey. And speaking of journey, we'd like to thank Tumi for being the partners in esports for M2, as the journey to become the champions of M2 has been perfected with the latest Tumi luggage and backpacks. You can bring your gear anywhere with you safely without any sort of worries at all. And of course, I forgot, be sure to check out Tumi.com to perfect your own journey and enjoy the M2 competition.
Never forget. An established distributor of many well-consumed and loved brands around Asia, SUTL Group is a proud 2021 MLBB partner in esports for Fiji Water, Ike Chong's It's Cups, and Mountain Dew. To find out more, visit www.sutl.com.
That's right, and you guys better keep your eyes open and catch the live stream of this mega event. Mobile Legends BangBang M2 World Championship 2020 is held in Singapore for free on MeWatch. And We've seen 12 teams playing in action here in the M2 from 9 different countries competing for $300,000 US.
Now down to 2 teams, 2 countries fighting for the lion's share of 300,000 big ones, and as well a go at that trophy. Is it there? Yeah, it's there. Right there.
It's visible.
Right.
It's visible here.
It's huge, by the way. Weighs a few kilograms, if I'm not mistaken.
Honestly, I don't know how much is the exact weight, but oh man, these players, they're ready to just grab it off of that turret that's placed in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the biceps on the guy who had to put it up there already was pretty impressive. But speaking of which, in this game, it's going to be pretty difficult. I would say it's about either or for Bren and Burmese Ghouls at this point in time, because it's not just about execution, because execution doesn't seem to be lacking on either side. It really does come down to those small micro and macro decisions at the end of the day.
They can actually, Burmese Ghouls, they can actually adapt quite fast, because thinking about it, Brent picked Claude twice into the series, so you would expect that there is going to be an answer coming out here from the side of Burmese Ghouls, but at this point on, game number 3, they just went all out on that certain Claude pick. They shut it down so well, and Brent has to show something new.
Yeah, and of course, now they've already pulled out the card of the fighter Cho in this instance. So I'm expecting that, Brent wants to do something about that. Honestly, not really something that you want to ban out in the first phase anyways, because that's going to be opening up a lot of priorities. But in phase number 2, we saw so many diversity going on in that previous game, which led up to many of all these choices being opened up, and Burmese Ghouls were really happy when they got this show in.
I think they have to start thinking about the draft a little differently here, because again, now there's these 2 new priority picks that have come out more times than they should, which is going to be the Diggy and as well as the Boxia, which has changed a lot, because I mean, coaches come in with a set line of drafts. They can only go a certain different way depending on what the first 3 picks are going to be. So now that they have to do something else, it really is just a battle of wits here.
Not only is it a battle of wits, it's also a battle night, as today we are very pleased to announce the launch of the new anniversary season of Magic Chess Blazing Hammer. The new adventure will officially begin on January 30th, coming pretty soon in a week. So there's going to be the new upgrade system Blessing, Little Commander and Map, as well as synergies being revamped. And with that, there's a free trial of advanced skins awaiting for all of you guys to just get your hands on. So make sure you log in on 30th January for Battle 9.
Did you mention Magic Chess? Is that a new season, really? Is that what Blazing Hammer is?
I believe so.
I'm so excited. After M2, after I'll take a break from all of this high-tier, hot action that's just all about the MLB B5v5. I can't wait to get some Magic Chess on. Now about a minute away from the draft again. I agree, Gideon.
Into this corner where you have to start learning your opponent's strategy. For Bren, they got to figure out how exactly and what conditions need to be right to pull off this Diggy with the Aegis. And the same goes for the Burmese Ghouls. And I think it's slightly easier for them because we have seen them play Boxia before. So it's kind of on Bren here to figure out the Diggy pick because they can force it on. They can force it into the draft. And Burmese Ghouls, if they allow the Boxia to go through, either Bren or the Burmese Ghouls is going to nab it up, and again, it's shooting up towards that first pick.
Yeah. Considering Rebo's hero for game number 3, I don't think that was the best. I mean, he knows how to use the Kagura, that's for sure. But there are a lot of mages that could be utilized for Rebo.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, here's a big change of pace. Game number 3 we saw, or actually starting from game number 3, yeah, exactly. First ban, Diggy for Bren. First ban for Burmese Ghouls, Baksha. Now I think they're both running the risk and forcing each other, pushing each other's buttons.
Oh, wait.
Brody and Natalia, supported by Brenny Sports and Burmese Ghouls, with the Matilda and Selena. The cogs are turning, the cogs are turning.
They didn't ban out the Boxia this time.
Is it worth it though?
No. They played a huge gamble here. They were saying, no way Bren is going to first pick Boxia, because at least then they hopefully have a way to kind of build around that composition to say yes.
A trap? It could be a trap in a way, because Burmese Ghouls, they have 2 good picks that will come to their side. And they're pretty much aware of what they need to get for this. And they
the power they
Okay.
need.
All right.
Oh,
Ace and Ruby DD, happy to be of service.
wow. So many guns and just 2 picks. I'm excited to see the second phase of draft because they need to negate every single one of all these members, of course, protecting these 2 marksmen itself. So what should Brand Esports try to go for here? Because we already got Attila being banned away. Expect to see something pretty huge coming in the way.
Yeah,
I personally, I would think that Brand Esports here would probably avoid Yuzong, probably go for a. Oh, I mean, Farsa and Lancelot are going to be the optional picks that I was thinking of. But initially, I was thinking maybe they avoid the Yuzong and then look to try and get something that can jump in towards the back line.
yeah, they don't care about the Yuzhong at this point. And
Yeah.
again, if you want backlines, few on the Farsa extends the backline and could even go for the sleight of hand, give it to Rebo, change up the mid-hero overall, and yeah, Krautizi can jump with the dashes. And yeah, again, this is just characteristic of what's been making Brenny Sports win all this time. In the first phase of the drafting, they always focus on at least 2 of the 3, if not all 3, of the mid-lane heroes. That's the tank on Lusty, few with the support, and Krautizi as their jungler now. That's the tank onto maybe Burmese Goals pick up Jawhead.
Needing to actually get the lockdown on towards this Lancelot, they go in for this Jawhead, but late game Lancelot is not going to care about that at all, so still needing something beefier than this. And with that, Burmese Goals, they got that upper hand in terms of they picking up the second phase. It's taking a very long time here to decide because they need to decipher what actually activates this Lancelot before we even talk about him getting all the way to his back line.
I mean, okay, so for the Burmese Ghouls, I would be thinking, okay, wave clear, a kind of a way to say, hey, we're not going to give you a way to kind of just, lunge, and then get to our back line, no problems whatsoever. So, Loyi is probably a pretty good shout. The Alice is also pretty good to deny Brent Esports that dive ability in towards that back line, because remember, that Farsa doesn't necessarily have to go into the off lane.
Brenny Sports, they might even have the idea right now to just go for a huge off. This could be something on their list.
I don't know. I feel like the Yuzong is going to be really underpowered here if Burmese Ghouls do decide to pick it up for themselves. If Brent sees this, oh, you pick up the Yuzong, I pick up the Lapu Lapu. It's still a win-win situation for me.
But yeah, this is going to be very tricky for the side of Brent Esports. They need to thread this draft. Just think about it as walking on eggshells. Lapu Lapu was bad. Brent Esports, they really might have a Yuzhong on mind.
Yeah, so BG should ban Yuzong right here. Now that Lapu Lapu is gone, it's like, okay, we can get rid of it. Unless Bren opts to say, hey, we don't mind you getting Yuzong as long as we get the 1-1. And even then, it's like, alright, it's still a plus, almost.
Benedetta's still out there.
Again, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And it can go to Flap as well.
Yeah. No, if that goes to Flap, then what happens to Baksha? Lusty?
Oh well, it could go to Rebo.
There you go. Gold lane, Benedetta, this hero just goes everywhere.
I love the way that you guys are thinking about, role swaps.
Yeah,
How are you going to be playing this one out? Because it is so viable right now, especially in the grand scheme of things. Like you did point it out, 1-1 could be something that will be even more dangerous. And of course, already hard to catch the Lancelot. You don't want another plan B for Brent Esports to easily go into, not only execute members of the side of Burmese Goals, but they can't easily get away with all these three pick-up potential coming from Burmese Goals. So, one more ban for Brand Esports, get in!
Harith, Lunox, also pretty good shout-outs here for the side of Bren. I don't think they would go for the Harley. Lori is definitely really, really iffy, personally. I personally believe that is definitely, not exactly the best of choices, but it does have its benefits, unless Burmese Ghouls, because I can't foresee what their final pick is going to be.
Yeah, mid lane is pretty open for the Burmese Ghouls. There's so many options. And yeah, Brenny Sports, they just choose to go ahead and ban out the Yuzhong. So, Brenny Sports, what are they thinking? They could have picked it up themselves, although, yeah, you're right. It's Flaptease who plays it, so it's kind of a lock. Now you can really see how much Brenny Sports, Coach Ducky, wants his players to play what they really feel comfortable with.
Exactly, and they want thing for the Burmese Ghouls as well. Both sides want to have a winning lane.
But I think Burmese Ghouls, they are a little more flexible. There's more room
Yeah,
to wiggle around.
that's true.
They're more comfortable with so much more positions, so much more willing to listen to Panda and hear him out.
Really looking at a probable Benedetta, but that won't really be the best. This is good. They lack magic damage, and they get magic damage.
Well, do they really have something that they can actually hold a fort with, though, coming from the side of Burmese Ghouls? Because, yes, surefire power, that's definitely a great idea, but Jawhead right now has so much responsibility once he goes in, but Brent Esports could possibly go in for a free half pick that you mentioned.
I mean, I think at Bren, they've got a number of options. They could either go Popo Kupal, Loyi, Popo Kupal or Loyi, one or the other.
Oh, yeah.
They could go for the Eudora, which kind of fills up that position of that Popo and Kupal, but it's really dependent on, do they want magic or do they want to have that physical damage? And at the end of the day, Harith, I think, is a pretty good shout, especially in the off lane. Oh, yeah, Savannah is still up on the field.
Oh.
That's going to be the tank for Lusty. And hold on,
wow.
it's Cho. Cho is going to be played by Lusty. Rebo on the far side. And yeah, this is, wow, how they circled around to this draft, the fundamental Bren Esports draft.
I like it. I like it. What about you, Butters?
This is strong from Brent Esports, but it has its limits. But
Okay,
Grok
hold on.
is that answer, and it will stop a lot of people. It will stop a lot of heroes on their tracks to get to the backline.
Is this the violent Grok once more? Is this
Yeah.
the Grok with high and dry and a bloodlust axe and a
Yeah.
blade of despair?
I believe so. This might just be it, or you just want to set up those walls somewhere in between. They want to fight on those choke points. Yeah, let me cut your team into two, and I'll deal with one thing at a time.
I think it's going to be a 1-2-2 composition, to be fair here. I do think that the Grok is going to be roaming in between mid and the gold lane just to kind of clear it up to allow space for Yishin Shin as well as the Lunox, both of which don't exactly do wave clear that great until the later stages of the game, especially for Yishin Shin. But overall, I think this is going to be a tough one. It's going to be a real tough one for either side.
Yeah, just looking at how this is going here, Burmese Ghosts trying to actually equalize the score to 2-2, but Brent Esports, I really do love the draft, and Great Shows honestly never go out of style. From M1 all the way up to its M2, you still see it in the grand finals. Moving in towards the land up top here, back towards the caster's desk, and we will be moving in for game number 5.
And a lot of things ride on Few and Lusty's back. They have to set them kills for Carl and just let Carl do the work when he gets the items.
Let's look at the lane priority here, because again, the lane assignment, as we see Grok up into the top line going up against that far side, and we can see Lusty already trying to disrupt that purple buff as much as it can, but again, Retribution still too powerful of a spell.
And he did try. If he would have picked that up, that would hurt Burmese Ghouls a lot, but it was still a flicker spent for Brent Esports.
Yep, and that's something Burmese Ghouls will definitely remember. They'll say, okay, we know that at least for 2 minutes from now, Lusty doesn't have a flicker. So yeah, when this first turtle comes up online, then that's one less catch.
You're looking nervous there, Leo. What's going on, man?
I'm just wondering what this Grok is going to be like. Again, seeing that it's on Ruby DD. It's the high and dry. It's the one that deals a lot of damage. It's the one that wins duels. And I love how high
And
high risk lineups like this are able to just swing the metagame, and this is what Burmese Ghouls needed. This is the kind of lineup that just makes Brent Esports think like, okay, I haven't seen this much in scrims, it hasn't performed much in professional scenes, and this is the kind of specific answer you need to be able to get these series wins. And OD using the battle mirror image against Flapteasy down in the side lane here, the EXP lane, and grabbing him. Hold up, interesting use. Interesting decision to put the Claude in the XP lane.
Yep, they want the clock to get the level 4 first. I think that's also kind of interesting as well, considering what the matchup is going to be like here. But notice the way that they're rotating, putting a little less priority over the mid lane once you have Lunox starting to get, once Lunox does hit that level 4. So, again, it's going to be a different set of lanes here for the Burmese Ghouls to kind of adapt and try to be efficient with their power level spikes.
Brent Esports, they have been beaten by Burmese Ghouls with this Lancelot pick. Flapteasy trying to go for maybe. Does maybe have the flicker? Yes, he does.
Poisson's here by Flapteasy, not going to be putting a beat on anyone. Nice flicker in. That's going to be 2 knocked up. And Flapteasy pulls the double. That's first blood. Make it a triple. They trade out Flapteasy and Few, but is it going to be worth it? Because Carlteasy's still alive. Phantom Execution keeps him alive. And there's a triple for the Prodigy. The turtle still stands. It's only the here up in his own lane. Man, I think Burmese Ghouls made the right call in saying, okay, you farm up, man, because this is the hot zone down here.
Yeah, that was huge for the side of Brand Esports, and he's going to be using his Blazing Duet to clear the waves really, really fast and maximize EXP. But you gotta give it to Kaltisi, and as well as Lusty, that 3-man G Kundo literally enabled Kaltisi to get so far ahead.
And Lusty,
that's going to be a trade-off. Hold up. Lusty pulling a Leo Murphy himself. That's going to be maybe blasted down. Another for Kaltisi. Thank you so much, Few, for pinning him down.
why are you thinking the player?
No, it's the player who said thank you.
Oh, okay, all right, I got ya. But still, Carl, this is the problem for these kinds of Groks. I mean, Grok is strong when you're sticking to the wall, but then again, you need to get a bit of levels just to proceed or just to have the progression in terms of being tanky. But if you actually have that high and dry, then that means you're gonna go for a very violent Grok. Then that means probably a Bloodlust Axe would do, but you're not as tanky as you think sometimes you are.
Oh no, maybe he's taking way too much damage. He gets absolutely pinned down there. Even with the smart missile, it's not going to be enough. Ruby DD is going to be the next to fall under the hands of Lusty. Great setups coming all across the board from Brand Esports.
And Carl Teasy here just showing us if you shut down this Lancelot pick when we first met, this is a new Lancelot special that I'm bringing to you guys right now.
Interesting clash there as now Brand Esports opens up this bottom lane. It's going to be Kid. Oh, knocked up with the Way of the Dragon here by Lusty. And he's going to be able to dash out maybe indeed. Lacking damage still. I think I know what's going on now with this Ruby DD Grok. He's expecting that it was Bren going to be taking it slow, but so far Bren have been answering back with 2 or 3 people. Oh! I don't do much now. Look at this. Kaltizi gets caught in. Oh! D is dealing a lot of damage. That's already the Blazing Duet with a few stacks pushing back Kaltizi and the rest of Bren Esports. So far 8-2. Less than 2,000 in the lead is Bren, and we're sitting at 5 minutes waiting for another Lord about a minute away.
I gotta give it to Maybe there. He stopped Carl Teasy to getting the Phantom Execution over the wall, and that would have been so huge for Bren if Carl Teasy was able to get that double kill there, but he's gonna do it one more time on top of D. He jumps away.
He's so brave, Carl Teasy, using the brush to try and pick off that Claude. And as you can see, the intensity right now, ladies and gentlemen, on the stage, they're just screaming their lungs off.
Oh boy, it's only going to get more intense from here. Brent getting some good timers here, and now they want to punish Kid. He goes for the Brilliance, tries to close the distance, but it ain't going to be enough when they're going to get stopped in their tracks with the Phantom Execution of the Toys Poissons to completely cut them off from that reinforcement. Imperial Justice landing and Ruby DD. He's going to say, nope, I'm going to use his power of nature to kind of walk away here and absorb all of the damage. But at the end of the day, the Way of the Dragon is still back up, and they get bot tier 1.
And D going for that mid lane turret. They will get it, but they had to put 3 people on it just to get it. Like Bren Esports, in terms of turrets, they're equal. Bren Esports is not getting a lot of objectives. It's just that they have more control over the turtle.
Yeah, and they have more turtles, and right now, Lusty gonna get blasted out, and I think that's counting ults. That's none on Burmese Ghouls. So yeah, definitely uptime on Bren Esports now. It's on their side. In the third turtle, 100% take rate. Butters, this is what you were talking about, right? Same turret count, but when it comes to turtles, Carl DC just always online. I guess this is what you get when you're trying to farm up on so many different heroes.
But Burmese Ghouls, they do have time on their side. That's one of the things that they have, scaling.
That's true. I mean, how long can you do this for? Because eventually it's going to be the end game mechanic that Bren is looking for, and that is... Wait, hold on. Something's going on towards the top side. Ooh, D actually surviving with literally 1% of life left. It looks like Bren still putting more gasoline on this fire.
But look at this, onto the middle lane. There is a fight happening.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be popping up even up top, so I guess we'll pick one of them. That's gonna be off of Kid. And up top it's Carl TZ. Maybe he wants to go ahead and flicker out, hide into the bush. That's going to be the Thorn Rose saving
Look at Lusty.
Carl TZ a little bit. Oh, Lusty's waiting. Lusty's waiting.
gonna do it again.
Oh, underneath, that's gonna be the Thorn Rose one more time. Maybe gets it. Imperial Justice pins down Ruby Didi, but he's A-okay. Charging up the clothesline from hell to clear out this way. But there's 4 members. Way of the Dragon by Lusty, and that's gonna be one taken out alongside the turret.
Oh my goodness. Literally one of the more beautiful dives I've ever seen coming out of Brand Esports. The perfect juggle of aggro, the turret aggro coming in from Flap Teasy, and as well as Few. Hats off to them. That was so clean.
And you can see here Few just staying there near that orange buff. They're baiting it so that they see Ace. And look at this.
Oh, the orange buff invade has turned into a full-on fight. Feathered airstrike here by Rebo, and now Ace wants to find some prey. Kid getting blasted down. Few gets him, but they trade out. Maybe gets the kill, 1-for-1 currently. Nice ejector to save D, and Ruby DD wants to go clear the waves. Flap Easy maintaining the pressure. That's gonna be the disengage. Hold up! No, D wants more. Flap Easy rolling out.
Okay, Turtle is definitely positioned onto the side of Burmese schools. They have the key points into the map, and Carr doesn't care. He just goes in. Look at this.
Way of the dragon and the feathered airstrike. Oh, that's 2 down. Automatic for the doctor. He's looking for another patient. Wings by wings up. Lusty gonna be knocking up Kid. Where is you going, son? It's going to be a chase, and I think he's gonna survive. He's just waiting on the Order of Brilliance. They're gonna let go. That's the last turtle of the game.
Picking up those 3 armors, and look at this. They're just casually getting it just because a lot of the items here from beside are physical damage. And look at this. Ace going in. He gets the kill. Carl will be the first pickup, and Granny Sports, they might bow out of their first fight, but Flap still regioning.
I was gonna say that might have been the first plot twist, but Flap surviving. Gideon.
Yeah, Flap surviving, rather interesting. It does show that he has a lot of tankiness built into his kit, which is definitely something notable. However, the Burmese schools, they actually won the fight, which is rather surprising. They managed to catch out Carl Teasy and shutting him down for some huge gold. But at the end of the day, it's all about that scaling of Burmese schools. If this is the best that they can muster, they're going to have to make it work.
Yeah, at some point, those casual armors are going to be expiring, and now Rebo gets picked up from the back line. Flap Easy running for his life. He's going to roll out, and that's going to be an ejector onto Few, plus the Imperial Justice keeping him alive, and now D taking his best here, doing his best to deal damage and back out. So far, so good. Another pick up by Burmese Ghouls.
Oh my goodness.
Oh! Well, Mount Chopper keeping them in place. Can Ruby DD come in with the wild charge? It is off of cooldown. They go for the conversion. Wow, Burmese Ghouls back in here, closing the gap now, just under 2,000.
Brand Esports need to be very careful on those brushes. Brand Esports rather. Burmese schools are masters of that ambush strategy that they're doing.
Oh, Flap Easy rolls into 4, but here comes the backup. The cavalry has arrived. Ace knocked out by Few. That's a pickup. That's for free. I think they're just jockeying for position. Lord down bottom. They want to take as much as they can. Ruby down as well. Down bottom, it's going to be D. Oh, wow, making quick use. You could have hold your breath there.
Yep, and that's the thing. Their main team fight capability is coming from D. He's making sure that he's literally the strongest person on his team, and even Yi Shin is mainly acting as utility for a large majority. He's got to outplay this. Battle Mirror Image, he gets hit by one. The third hit of G could go. The Brilliance comes out. Lusty is going to get chunked down, but the Blazing Duet is way too early. Flapteasy is going to get right on top of it with the help of Few. It's going good, but maybe now all by himself. Where is Ace? Ace needs to get here to get his damage down. He gets up to Flapteasy. He secures the kill. It's a 2-for-3 trade-off, but at the end of the day, the Burmese Ghouls, no worries. Nothing that Bren can do to converse, because Carl Teasy was the one who went down.
But now things are looking great for the side of Burmese Ghouls. Their Claude has items.
Yeah, all the more this becomes interesting. Ace here now picks up his endless battle. We're seeing a very, very small gold gap. Barely 1,000, right? As the minute goes by, let's check out the items here.
Okay, so that is going to be a Blade of Despair and an endless battle for Ace. D has the wind of nature, the Queen's Wing, Wings, the Demon Hunter Sword, and the Golden Staff.
Wow, I didn't realize how big he was. He literally has a scoreline of 1, 1, and 3. Who would have thought he's already got 9K under his belt?
He does have an avarice, and he got a lot of lanes on his side.
Oh, another fight occurs though, and that's Ruby DD getting caught out. Way of the Dragon onto the Grok, but it doesn't last as long given he was next to a wall. Alright, so far Burmese ghouls are getting better at this. Oh, nice ejector on the Few. Few gonna be dashing out, and in comes the blazing the way to the back line. Few goes down, Kid gets the kill, and now Flap Easy looking low. He's not gonna be saved by the third place Sans. That's gonna be 2 for free. Going to the Burmese ghouls. Rebo pushing them back. This right here is all that Brainy Sports can do. Slowly but surely, we're entering the end game, and Burmese Ghouls, once more, we mentioned earlier, they have the late game in the bag.
Bren,
Who have the late game on the back. But Bren Esports, can they hold on? Now, the pressure goes back to their side.
Yeah, I mean, Bren messed up there. They wasted 5 ultimates just to get a Grok, and they didn't even successfully do it. Burmese Ghouls pull the trigger, and that's what they want to do. Waste the ultimates from Bren and get a free fight as they do it again once more. They're trying to bait Bren into something they don't want to take.
Ooh, Carl Easy gonna use the Cyclone Eye here. Oh no, Ace confirms the Lord take. Nice combo here. Oh, the shutdown immediately on the Carl Easy. That's 2 for Burmese Ghouls. That's none for Brenny Sports. Do mind you, the Lord has already been taken here. And just like that, Brenny Sports came into the fight fresh, but they lost nonetheless. Burmese Ghouls showing us superior positioning and target prioritization.
And this is where Carl Beasy really just wants to get the kill on D. But D has the wind of nature. Now, Feathered Airstrike is going to play a huge role into this defense.
Well, he's going to push on forward, and inevitably it's going to be okay. But right, they got a big shutdown onto Kid, which is great. But Kid isn't the main target here. Yes, it is constant source of damage and forcing a lot of itemizations from Red to go into Magic Resist. But at the end of the day, if they don't take out D, it's going to be a problem. And not to mention, Ace is starting to catch up in that target prioritization and becoming a huge problem. Few tries to go for the Imperial Justice. It's not looking good to him, and the rest of the team is going into the back line. They're trying to make it work out, but Ace, he's on the run. Yishin Chin is probably going to go down, but Few, he doesn't actually get him. He's able to dash out of the way of the Traceless and is able to come up in time. And D is absolutely gigantic, taking out 2 members single-handedly. And you can see that Carl Teasy does not want to be a part of that.
And this is Bren Esports. They're playing as individuals right now. Burmese Ghouls. This is the superior team fight, superior macro play that we expected from them since game number 1.
So far, so good here. Brenny Sports, until that Lord take, it's been their game. But right now, Burmese Ghouls, they put Brenny Sports into a position where if you get frustrated, you're going to lose.
And I think that's what Bren is. They are frustrated,
You can see it. You saw how much Few went for the chase, and there was no chance. There was 4 members of Burmese Ghouls there hiding in the bush, even if there were only 3 and the rest were putting down pressure elsewhere. Oh, Brenny Sports, they really dropped the ball on this one currently. Down 4 turrets, down a Lord, behind about 7,000 gold.
I mean, honestly, one bad team fight for the side of Burmese Ghouls can easily turn Bren back on top and just, really even things out. But the people who need to keep their heads cool right now is Lusty and Cartesi. These are the playmakers, the damage dealer and the playmaker. Rebo, he's been playing a very consistent game so far, but the problem is whenever they initiate the fight, they're out of his range of damage. They don't want him to force the wings by wings to get closer, because that puts him in a huge compromisable position.
Yep, and now Burmese Ghouls, they are controlling the buffs here for the side of Bren Esports, and this is what Bren Esports did for the couple of games that they won here in the series. Burmese Ghouls, slowly but surely, just walking up to their base. They're not forcing anything. They're waiting for Bren Esports to be a bit impatient.
Somebody's going to have to make a mistake here. It's either Bren or the Burmese Ghouls, and Bren definitely, after making a couple of those, they've realized, all right, we've made too many, we've kind of lost the lead, we've kind of, put too much slack on this leash, and Burmese Ghouls, they are just waiting for this Lord. In the next 50 seconds or so, if somebody is going to get caught, it's not going to matter too much unless it starts happening right now at the 40-second mark where the death timers, you won't be able to reach the Lord in time after respawn.
Yeah, no kill here is free. No kill is free. All right, Few here picks up the glowing wand. Now they can confirm more kills. Maybe. I think maybe is the only one who can really afford to die given the pull yourself together. And look at this, a silent war between tanks.
Agreed, but again, you don't want to be the first one who dies. He walks up because he knows, okay, at the end of the day, I can kind of get out. I have mechanics to do that, and it covers a lot of distance. But you can see that Lusty, he is hesitant. He's walking up, and he's like, no, I don't want to be the one who goes down because he is so important to the team. That Wave the Dragon is going to be a make it or break it.
Look at this turtle. Look at this Lord, rather.
Yeah.
There's the Luminous Lord.
He's up. Carl Easy picks up an immortality. Now the fight is broken down. Flap Easy, Poissons after the ejector. We're taking it slow because I know that both teams don't want to pull the trigger here willy-nilly. This is going to matter. Whoever gets out of this, whether by a big margin or by a very small trade. Oh, hold up, he gets caught by the Imperial Justice. That's going to be the starting punch here from Ready Sports. And oh, they burst down one. That's going to be Rebo taken out. They're not looking for anything else. A trade, where do you find it? Few going to be flickering out. They've already split the pie here. And now, Flap Easy destroyed by maybe 2 for none so far. And Few is scared of Ruby DD. This is where Ruby DD wants you.
Few. Forced out of his base, he cannot join the defense. Ruby DD doesn't want to take him down here as much as possible. He just wants to not see him recall back to base.
Oh, that's going to be the immortality bomb onto Carl Easy. No! Not even a
That's
time
it.
execution or the sword nose will save you, ladies and gentlemen. Lusty is the last to go, and that's going to be Burmese Ghouls taking game number 4.
Oh my goodness, thank God that this is a best of 7 because this really is a great adaptation, and overall the Burmese Ghouls managing to punch back, and they need that momentum back. Bren, they need to get that momentum because once you see them run out of gas here, the Burmese Ghouls, they start sniffing out and they will brick wall you until you just kill yourself of frustration.
Burmese goals have proved that this is a marathon, and now, of course, going for that reset, both sides 2-2. And still, we need 2 more games on either side to